It is officially that time of the year. It is time for our mid-year book tag. I know that every booktuber does this, but I just wanted to share my version of the mid-year book tag, and I wanted to show you all of the books that I read and which ones that I liked. I've already read like close to 55 books this year so far. Super unrealistic. Don't feel bad if you're nowhere near that, but I genuinely have read enough to have some opinions thus far. I have some regrets, I have some hot takes, and I have some opinions that might surprise you. So we're gonna do it my way, where it's less summary of a book and more just like my thoughts and feelings and vibes about the book. And I'm gonna be really honest with you because that's what we do on this channel. I'm gonna go through all the classic questions. I think there's like 13. We're gonna go through some of the best books, some of the worst books, some anticipated reads, and some that are on the 2026 TBR. No hype, no fluff, just the actual truth about how my reading has gone so far. If you're new here, hi, my name is Mandy. I read mostly fantasy, romantasy, and contemporary romance books for people that don't necessarily have a ton of time to waste on bad reads. Subscribe if that's your cup of tea, and let's get into it. Now, before I start showing you all the books that I've read, I want you to know that there will be no repeats in this list, so any books that I name in question 1 will not show up again in question 2, 3, 4, or 5, etc. So this made it a little more difficult because there were a few books that I just wanted to put in every category, but then there's no fun in that. And because I can't pick favorites, I have 4 books for question number 1. Best books that I've read so far this year. All of these books were rated 5 stars, and the first one is Throne of the Fallen by Carrie Maniscalco. I had never read this author before. This was my first time, and I loved this book so much. I loved the writing style and I had so much fun reading it. The second book that we rated 5 stars was Direbound by Sable Sorensen. I actually have a paperback version of this book. It is also annotated. I love this book so much. You're just gonna hear me on repeat telling you how much I love these books. But I had a lot of fun with this and I loved the twist in this story. It made me so excited to read Furybound this year. And now that I read Furybound, I'm even more excited for the third book. All these books will be listed below if you're curious about what any of these are. A lot of these are pretty popular books, so I'm just going to assume that you already know what these books are about. Another book that we rated 5 stars this year was Serpent in the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. This was, I believe, my first Carissa Broadbent book also, and I love this story. It was trials, and I loved our main characters, and I loved the dynamic, and I loved the magic. It actually plunged me into an entire series, so no regrets. And the last 5-star book that I'm going to mention should be no surprise to anyone, but it's City of Glass by Cassandra Clare. So the first and second book were a little tough to get through, and if you know, you know. But City of Glass was so good. It solidified that yes, I am going to dedicate all my money to trying to fill up Cassandra Clare's entire backlog on my bookshelf. But I had such a fun time with this. I'm such a fan of Clary and Jace, and I am looking forward to going through the next 2 more books in the series. Sorry, I'm not a stan, so I'm not really sure how many books are in this series, but I think it's like 2 more. Okay, so moving on to question number 2. Worst book that you've read so far this year. These are not going to be the worst books that I've read. These are just books that weren't for me. And if you love these books or book, then I'm so happy for you. There's so many books out there. It would be crazy for us to have the same opinion on everything, right? So one of the books that I disliked the most that I actually finished was The Coven by Harper L. Woods. These books were really beautiful. I found them secondhand. I actually don't have it because I've unhauled it already, but these books were really beautiful and I just picked them up. They were a good price and they were rated highly on Goodreads, so I took a chance. Book was actually really small, but it took me a really long time to get through such a short book, and that's your sign that you may not be meshing very well with the book that you're reading. But I just didn't like the writing style and I felt no need to continue in the series, so I did, resell those books that I had already purchased. So some that I DNF'd that I didn't finish, so therefore I didn't rate. I should share with you as well books that just were not for me. So for book club, I actually DNF'd God of Malice. I thought I was gonna love Rena Kent. I trusted y'all's opinions saying that Rena Kent slays. I did not have a good time. And someone else in my book club actually did enjoy it and may continue the series, which is, again, totally fine. I think it was too much spice in a way that I don't enjoy, because you need to understand that I do like spice. I'm also not super into non-con tropes or non-con relationships, so it's really just wasn't for me. And lastly, I want to mention The Apprentice to the Villain. I did enjoy Assistant to the Villain. I think I rated it at like 3.5, and I was like, you know what? I could continue this series. I put it on my series tracker. I did find book number 2 on discount. Again, I don't have this book in front of me because I unhauled it. Tried to get through the book and it was not grabbing me. I just found myself not caring about the plot, the story, the characters, anything that was going on. And you know, I was just like, why am I doing this to myself? So I DNF'd it. Okay, so moving on to question number 3, which is the best sequel that you've read so far. Now this one was a tough one for me because I've read a lot of sequels this year so far, and a lot of them have been rated highly by me. So I had to narrow it down to one, and I don't have this book physically. This book was actually an ARC that I read on my e-reader. Thank you to NetGalley and Kate Golden and the whole publishing crew. But Cursed City was a sequel that I read and I loved, and I was so angry at that I put my Kindle down so fast and like stomped around the house because I just was feeling so many emotions. I was so mad. And I don't know if there's a book 3. Like this series could be over. It could have been a duology and it could be done. I need Kate Golden to let me know. So I'm just not waiting here thinking that there's going to be more to the story. And there's just not. But I need it. There's got to be more to the story, please. Okay, and then on the flip side, question number 4 is, what is the worst sequel that we've read this year so far? And unfortunately, I'm gonna have to give it to our girl, Kimberly Lemming. So she wrote the book, I Got Abducted by an Alien and Now I'm Trapped in a Rom-Com. It's giving Fall Out Boy song titles, kind of. But anyways, I rated that one a 3 stars. I actually, maybe it was even 3.5. I really did enjoy that book. So when I got the ARC for book 2, which is I Punched an Alien and Now We're in Couples Therapy, I did give that one a 3 out of 5. So I must have rated the first one 3.5 out of 5. So I was looking forward to the ARC given to me by NetGalley. And unfortunately, I didn't like it as much as the first one. I will say that Kimberly Lemming's writing did intrigue me a lot, and I would love to see some of her other work. I don't know if she writes true fantasy. I think she would be fantastic at like a fantasy romantasy that's not like over the top comical and ridiculous. Also, like if she was to write a regular rom-com, I would be really interested in that as well. So again, not the worst sequel, but like just a sequel that wasn't for me. So the next question is new releases you haven't read but want to. These are going to be releases that are already out that I have not read yet. And there's 2 that I want to share with you. The first one is Inamorata by Ava Reid. I've heard really good things about this author, and this is like dark fantasy, and I want to dabble more into dark fantasy, especially after reading Carrie Lake and like Anathema and stuff. I would love if this book gave me the same vibes and the same feelings that Anathema did. I'm just ready for a really good dark time. Like there's teeth on the side of this book. Like what? So this is one, this came out this year. Yeah, it did come out this year. So this is one new release that is on the TBR that I have not read yet and I'm looking forward to. And then the other book is Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillick. I do believe this one came out in 2020. Oh, okay, so this is 2025. I'm still gonna count this as a new release because it was released within the last year. I remember lots of people talking about this book when it came out. I love Rachel Gillick. I loved One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns. So I believe that I will love this one too. We got a little Rebecca Ross blurb on the front and Alex E. Haro, which are other authors that I want to read. So I'm here for a good time, and I know that the second book comes out this year for this. So it's like I gotta read this book so that I can read the second book. And it's really not that long. Like, I don't know, maybe the pages thin? There's not many. It's not even 400 pages. So we probably could knock this out in a couple days. So yeah, that would be the second book that I would want to read that I haven't read yet because I own it. This is really obvious, but I'm gonna keep talking. Just kidding. All right. So question number 6 is most anticipated release for the second half of 2026. So I have a list of books for you. And I don't own any of them because they haven't came out yet. And I don't have publishers just like running to send me books yet. So we're gonna just rapid fire through these. Stormside, I've seen Alex Astor on Instagram teasing that Stormside comes out this year, even though Starside just came out. I finished it. I think I rated it a 4.5. And then of course we have Rebecca Yarros and Sarah J. Maas releasing books in September and October. So those are highly anticipated releases. All right, so question number 7 is the biggest surprise of the year. And this is where we're gonna talk about our one and only 6-star book thus far in my reading journey, and that is Alchemized by Sen Lin Yu. I've brought this book up in a lot of videos, and so you're probably so sick of hearing about it, but this was definitely the biggest surprise of the year. First of all, because I wasn't sure if I was even gonna like it. Second of all, because it's over 1,000 pages and I didn't know if I was even gonna make it through the entire story. Third of all, it is slow and romance is like a subplot. So it's kind of fantastical, a little bit outside of my comfort zone for a lot of reasons, but I ended up loving it so much. I couldn't shut up about this book. And then at the end, I was like, no, it's not even a 5-star. I think this is a 6-star. I think this is what a 6-star book feels like. I just had so much fun reading it, and I thank the author for writing such an amazing book, and I look forward to more of their books. I'm hoping they write more books, please. Next up, we have a favorite new to you author. This is question number 8. And a new to me author, obviously a lot of these books are new to me authors, but a few that stood out was Christina Lauren. And this one, I actually haven't read this book yet. This is called The Paradise Problem. I had such a good time reading The Honeymooners by Christina Lauren. I wanted to consume more. And so I've started collecting their books. And I'm gonna start working through the backlog, and I'm really excited for that. And I think they've got a release this year. I don't know if it's just coming to paperback or whatever, but super excited for that. And I do want to talk about Tara DeWitt as well. So I read book 1, Savor It. This is book 2, Left of Forever, and had a really fun time with the first book. Looking forward to reading the second book. I really like Tara DeWitt's writing, and that's really all I need to say about it. I mean, book 3 comes out this year, so we're gonna read this book so that we can get caught up in the series, and we're gonna have a grand old time. Question number 9 is our newest fictional crush, and I actually wanted to bring this book up in a few other categories, but I think this one it fit best. So I'm gonna talk about Tyler from Tropesick. So Tropesick is an arc that I read last week, and it comes out by the time you see this video, it's already out, so run and get it. It's a kind of like a contemporary fiction, romance, rom-com kind of magical realism book. And I had such a great time, and Tyler, the main male character in this story, felt so many feelings for him. I felt sadness for him. I felt hope for him. And I loved the way that he reacted and responded to our female main character. And he was just so loyal. I wish there were more Tylers in the world. But yes, small plug, if you haven't read Tropesick by Lauren Oakey, please check that out. I don't have a physical copy of it yet, but I will be purchasing a physical copy. If you like Christina Lauren, if you like Ali Hazelwood, if you like Emily Henry, like, go read this author. Her writing was really, really great. All right, and a book that made us cry was a 5-star book that we read not too long ago. I definitely finished this book during a live sprint stream, and I was sobbing, so there's receipts. There is evidence out there that this book actually made me cry, and that is Rights of the Starling by Devney Perry. I read Shield of Sparrows, I think it was earlier this year, and I really had a great, fun time with that. And book 2 just took it to the next level. The ending hit me. It struck a chord in my body, and I could not recover. I could not keep it together. I sobbed for these characters, and I will never recover from that. I still haven't recovered. I had a great time. I keep saying that. I had a really enjoyable time. It's a beautiful book. I did pre-order it. If you want to cry, if you want to read a book that makes you feel feelings, pick this one up. And so for question number 11, books that made me happy, we are going to reference Christina Lauren again. I read The Honeymooners, and that book was just so fun from the beginning, and the situations that they got themselves into and the fake dating and how everything played out. Christina Lauren did a wonderful job with this story. The Honeymooners, I read it digitally and also listened to it in an audiobook, and both were really magnificent. So I would 100% recommend that to you. And it just was such a good story. And I just loved it so much. Okay, question number 12 is the most beautiful book that I've bought or received this year. And I have two books. So this book actually came out in 2024, and that is Throne of Secrets by Carrie Maniscalco. I picked up the exclusive edition from Barnes & Noble for 50% off during Christmas this past year. And obviously I just love it because there's black dragons and it's a baby blue cover, and I am a sucker for baby blue. I just think this cover is so beautiful, and I love to look at it and I love to hold it, and I can't wait to read it. So this would be the first beautiful book. And then the second one, again, this book didn't make it into the first category, the first question, because I had to save it for this one. This was a good read. People are talking about this book, and I pre-ordered it, and I got the most beautiful version of it. This was the pre-order. The edges are beautiful. The cover is beautiful, and even the inside is beautiful, and I just love the pink on the inside. The story was beautiful too, so this would be up there with, well, this one probably is I'd say is more beautiful than this one, just because I haven't read this one yet, and the story was really beautiful. But yeah, these would be the two that I put in that category. And last but not least, question number 13 is, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? I have a lot of books that I need to read before the end of the year. I think we're only halfway through our 2026 list. However, one that I'm currently reading in the moment is Zodiac Academy by Carolyn Peckham and Suzanne Valenti. This is book 1, The Awakening, and I am over halfway through. I'd say I'm almost to 70% maybe. I don't have very far to go. So this was on our 26 for 26 list. Also, we are halfway through Priory of an Orange Tree. I'll be honest with you, I haven't picked this book up in a month or two. I'm behind in my current reading pace. I need to read a good amount. But yeah, we have to finish this before the end of the year, and I've almost even forgotten what's going on in this book because I waited too long to keep reading it. So anyways, these are 2 books that I need to read for 2026 before the year's over. And I believe in myself. I know that I can do it. I just have to do it. May was a really busy month. June was kind of busy. So I'm looking forward to the summer. I'm hoping that I get some more free time to read more books because we have so many to read. And that's it. That brings us to the end of our mid-year book tag. So if you want to do your own version of this, the questions are going to be listed down below in the description, or just let me know in the comments what you would have answered for these questions. We don't get a lot of comments on the channel, so I do read, respond, and like every comment. They're truly really appreciated on this channel. I will link my Goodreads down below if you're interested to see the reviews of the books that I've mentioned. And like I said earlier, the list of the books that we did talk about will be down below as well. Give this video a thumbs up if you found a new read today. Make sure you comment below your answers to these questions and hit the subscribe button because we have this goal of 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year and we're getting really close. Also, come find me on TikTok and Instagram if you want more reviews and if you want daily content. As always, thank you so much for being here with me, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye-bye! Can't talk about the second one because then I can't talk about it in another question. Oh, this is the question. So, okay, you know what? Scratch all of that.